Where's the undo brush? Well, it's over here in the tools panel. Click there and it's got all the functionality of a standard brush. You've got brushes more, you can tweak it, create scattering designs, all kinds of things. But you can also use it with undo. Of course, you need something to undo. So filters, blur and Gaussian blur. That's obviously just one of them. You could use any of the other filters as well. Click apply. And you can see over here in the history panel, you can find that in the view menu, studio and history. And you can see now you've got Gaussian blur there. And you've got here a little history state. Click there. Make certain you click that. If you don't, just clicking this doesn't make any difference. You need to click here. That's the history state. And now what you can do, you can undo. You can undo and now you can apply your brush stroke. And of course at the moment it's using indifference. You can use it in all kinds, say normal, change the size, tweak it in many different ways, and you can apply it and you can see what happens. It just applies that blur effect, but with the brush. So the brush is just applying it just to that localized area. So you don't apply it to this side if you don't want that side to be modified. Or you can go to this side and just apply it. Maybe decide, you know what, I just want to blur the background. So you can just apply it just to that very quickly and use it like that. However, what you can also do is you can apply multiple effects and use that. So go to filters, maybe blur, motion blur. So motion blur like that, maybe not so extreme, maybe like that. Maybe decide, you know what, let's go for distort and deform. So distort and deform. So you can just modify the image, etc., tweak it, distort it in all kinds of ways. Like that, maybe make it look like it's a sort of very wispy sort of evening. And again, click apply. And again, click there. That's the key thing, just click there. Now you can undo. So back to the original image. You've got that history state stored there and you can apply it. And then again, you can just, if you want to, just apply it localized to that area. And you can vary the brush, of course. You don't have to use that size of brush. I'm using 400, but you can go, you know, let's put it to 270. Just apply it like that. And you can just create nice sort of smeary, blurry effects just to that point. Just there. Just want that face, just that bit, just to smear off, go off that direction. You don't have to then change anything else. And that's a combine of the motion blur as well as deform. And you've also got blends. So you've also got that you can combine with as well as mirror and much, much more. So you've got colour burn this time. Let's just go for colour burn. And you can see then you've got colour burn. You can mix that in. Again, change the brush. If you decide, you know what, I don't want this scattering, change the dynamics. Change that, tweak that, modify the set, change it. Textures, you've got sub brushes, you've got the lot. All can be accessed. And again, you can modify this, click close and apply it again. And it apply it multiple times and you can see the effect there. Maybe you decide, you know what, let's just go undo all that. You can also use maybe adjustments. So layer, new adjustment layer, and you can go down here and say, oh, gradient map. That's obviously one more extreme, super colourful one. So you can just go for that. Maybe decide, you know what, I also want maybe black and white. Doesn't have to be colour, of course. So you can, if you want to, just go for layer, new adjustment layer, and black and white. But you've got that effect, obviously, creates there, and you can tweak that. Maybe go for that. And again, key thing is, always is to remember to click here, the history state. Click there. And again, put it back to there. That's the history state, and you can apply it. Now, if the result isn't what you want, because obviously I'm using colour burn, maybe the colour burn, maybe you just go for normal. And you can see then when you go for normal, apply it like that. And again, you can see the effect there. The combination of that adjustment is being added there, just applied. And again, you don't have to have it as extreme. Maybe go for opacity, reduce the opacity down to 19 or 20 and just apply it very, very subtle. Now, what you can also do, of course, is you can apply that So you can see the effect there, and you can maybe go for a blur or something. Let's just go for a blur as well. Maybe, again, motion blur. Motion blur is probably better than Gaussian blur. You can create that really nice sort of icicle effect going off in that direction. And again, click apply. So you've got the brush stroke, as well as obviously that motion blur, plus the adjustments earlier. And again, click there. And again, put it back to the start point. You don't have to, of course. You could put it to the blur point. You could always go to filter and Gaussian blur. So you've got Gaussian blur, like that. And then apply it. And now it will be adding that effect on top of that blur. And you can see the effect there of that. Obviously the ice cold, the motion blur, the adjustments, the brush strokes, all being added to that side bit. And again, you can apply this multiple times, change blending modes, go for soft light, and so on and so on. And again, if you're unhappy with it, you can always go and change, you know what? And sometimes it's probably better to actually use snapshots. So you might want to create snapshots, say, of like a blur effect or adjustments, and put them in here. And then you can just go to them as a sort of library of effects that can be added to this. But at any point, you can always just go back here and apply like that. Just any of these other ones. And then put the blur back there and then apply it, whatever it is, that setting for that. And so on. And of course, always go to filters, blur, create another one again. Perfectly reasonable. If you've suddenly found that you've lost them, which I just noticed I have suddenly got rid of all my snapshots, you can just quickly bring snapshot back in again, bring it back and apply it again. And you can see the effect, and that one is in soft light. I don't want that on it there because it's just not. But you can see nice subtle effects, just a nice blurring around the edge there. All kinds of different designs. Anything here can be saved and stored away in the history and then brought back using this undo brush. The undo brush is super useful, really great feature, creating all kinds of effects. It's thinking about effects, but turned slightly upside down. But it's a great way of changing and tweaking images. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.